Well, happy Sunday, everybody. It's football playoff weekend, and right now it's halftime at the Seattle-Washington game, so I wanted to record this tutorial for you. Um, I want to stay with free apps for a while. I know I've spent a lot of money on iPhone apps for photography, and um, there's an awful lot of free ones out there too, although these days the free ones are leaning more towards being kind of a light version of a full featured software. So there are usually a lot of in-app purchases that can happen that can run the bill up. But here's one that's free. It's called Photo Wizard. Photo Wizard for iPhone. There's also an HD version, and there's also a paid version which does everything, and I love it. This is again one of my real go-to apps when I have something fun I want to do with a photo. So let me show you what this one's all about. This is the free version. Okay, so I downloaded the free version to show you what that'll do today. Let's open a photo here. This is a panoramic that I took in Nordstrom the other day. I was in to exchange something with my daughter after Christmas, and they had this nice two paintings of these race cars on the wall. So I took the pano feature of my iPhone and, did the thing, and that number. That's why it's a little bit distorted, but that's kind of a cool look, right? So here we are in Photo Wizard HD. And the feature I really like about this, or the one that I've actually come to use a lot, is masking. Now, don't let that term freak you out. Let me show you how easy it is. Over here in the bottom right is mask. We open that, and then up in the upper right-hand corner, see the gear? We'll hit that, and it brings up the different tools. There's an eraser and kind of a magic wand and all those stripy things, and then this brush and a lasso, so you can create different shapes with your masking. I usually just use the brush, so let's hit the brush, and then we can change the size of it here, how big a brush we want, and then the smoothness of it, whether we want it to have a hard edge or a kind of a soft, fuzzier edge. And then we just simply put our finger on here and paint the areas I want to mask. And right now, what I want to mask are the paintings. And then that'll allow me to do other stuff with the rest of the photo. So what the mask does, it protects the area that you mask from being affected by anything else you might do in the program. So I've masked out these pictures, and they should not be affected, or they should not be affected too badly by other things that I might do. If you go over the edges of what you want to mask, don't worry about it. You can clean them up if you want. You just go back to your tools, maybe pick the eraser, and go in here and kind of erase, clean up the edges, only if you want to. And then when you're done masking, see that little fuzzy white dot next to the gear right here? That smooths out any masking you've done. Kind of makes things all blend together so that it's not so harsh and abrupt. So let's do that. Let's just blur it about halfway. Okay? Now, we can do anything we want to this photo, and so it's, what can you imagine doing to this? If you go, okay, so along the bottom here, there are different sets. There's the filters, effects, and tools, along with your mask. Let's choose the filters. And a lot of the filters are things you can do with other software like Snapseed, exposure and contrast, hue saturation, all this sort of stuff. And there are other things that Snapseed doesn't do, like this Gaussian blur, motion blur, radial blur, and there are just a lot of things here, pseudo HDR, and noise reduction, which is really nice. So just for fun, why don't let me just show you what's possible here. So let's go to exposure. Now, remember, the pictures, which I mask, won't be affected by what I do. So if I want to, say, darken everything around the photos, bring the exposure down, see, that's sort of darkening things and making them stand out a little bit more. You can add more contrast if you want. Okay, so that is one option. You know, you can reduce exposure if you want to reduce more and make it really dark. You know, you can do that. You know, I mean, that's like overdoing it, but I'm just showing you here what's possible. So I went back to the home button. The mask is still in place. Let me try something else. Oh, this is one I really like. This filter, motion blur. I like motion blur. It goes either horizontal or vertical, and here's the horizontal blur, and it just sort of makes everything go horizontal. And there it's so blurred out that, you know, the pictures aren't, but everything else in the photo was. So that's what the horizontal blur will do. Now I want to go back and do the vertical blur. I took off the horizontal. Let's do the vertical. And see now the railing there, those uprights, they're staying fairly clear. So that's kind of a cool effect. So now you can kind of see the railing there, and you know, a little motion blur going on. The pictures are not affected. So that's kind of cool. I think I'll save that. So the way you save that is you hit the little check mark in the upper right hand corner. Easy. So you can do other effects. The pictures are still masked. If you want to unmask them, you can do that. You just go into mask and bring up the eraser tool, like, you know, here, and then you go in and erase that. But I'm going to leave it in place because one of my favorite things to do is with these programs that have a randomize feature, to where you just hit a button and it's like at Google, where you go and you search for something and then you hit the I'm feeling lucky button. It's kind of like that. It just brings in different effects that the program has, you know, is capable of doing, and it just brings them in random amounts, and yeah, you never know what you're going to get. It's like the Forrest Gump app. So knowing that, and I come up with a lot of effects, and the reason this is cool is because you end up with photos that don't look like anything you'd ever try, because it's, you know, it's so random you probably wouldn't think of a lot of things. So there's one effect. Hit it again. See what see what happens. So that adds a border and, you know, some colorization around it. That's kind of cool. So I mean, that's cool. It does lots of stuff that you would just never ever come up with yourself. And so you can have a photo that's like, wow, you know, your friends and family are looking at this and, oh, how'd you do that? Okay, I kind of like that. Okay, so we'll take that. Oh, you know, okay, so in the free version, it lets you do the work, but it doesn't let you save it. You see up in the upper right-hand corner where you normally have a check mark? There's a shopping cart. You know what that means. Well, the app costs $1.99, and sometimes they have it on sale half price at 99 cents. For $2, I'd get it. So I can't save this, sorry to say, because I'm doing it on the free version. Had I done this on my paid version, we could save it and everything would be good. So just to show you though what you can do. So I wonder what we can do with this. Does the motion blur take effect, I wonder? Yes, they let me save the motion blur, so that's cool. And then over here in tools, you can crop and add text to your photo if you want. Reduce red eye and gradient. So anyway, it looks like the filters in the free version are usable. The FX, the different effects. Let me see. Let's just choose one. Light bokeh. It's going to add some stuff. Yeah, they want the shopping cart on that one too. So So the filters look like they're free on the free version. If you want the other stuff, the effects, you're going to have to pay for it. $1.99 in the App Store. So let me go ahead and we'll save this, that one there, and that's actually quite a nice change over what we started with. So that's it, Photo Wizard HD. Tomorrow, I think we're going to talk about a camera replacement app, because the camera in your iPhone is limited. It does a really good job, but we can do better jobs with a replacement camera. There are a lot of free ones out there. There are a lot that you pay for, but we'll go over one or two of those tomorrow. So this is Captain Photo at essenceinphotography.com. With today has been day 6 of my iphoneography tutorial series. See you tomorrow.